Maya, 17, a single mother in Nigeria. Her days were filled with the cries of her baby, Lila, and the constant worry about how to provide for them both. Maya had become a mother at a young age, a decision influenced by a mix of love and desperation. The father of her child had vanished soon after Lila's birth, leaving Maya to navigate her new reality alone. Maya lived in a small, crumbling house with her mother, Amina, who had once been a vibrant woman but now carried the weight of disappointment and struggle. Their relationship was strained. Amina often reminded Maya of her mistakes, believing that the young mother had thrown away her future. Despite this, Maya was determined to prove that she could create a better life for herself and her daughter. Maya's mornings began before dawn. She would wake to the soft cooing of Lila and start her day by preparing a simple meal of porridge made from maize. After feeding Lila, she would set out to find odd jobs washing clothes, cleaning houses, or selling small items at the market. Each job brought in a few coins, but it was never enough to cover their basic needs. As she walked through the village, Maya often noticed the abandoned cassava fields on the outskirts. Once vibrant and full of life, they now lay dormant, overgrown with weeds. Curiosity gnawed at her. Could those neglected roots provide the solution to her problems? One evening, driven by hunger and hope, Maya ventured into the fields. As she dug through the earth, she uncovered the sturdy roots of cassava, their starchy flesh a promise of nourishment. She recalled hearing about cassava's resilience and nutritional value. It could be a source of food and income if only she could harvest it. The thought of harvesting the cassava filled Maya with a mix of excitement and fear. What if she failed? What if her mother found out? But the thought of Lila's future spurred her on. With that determination, she began to devise a plan. Maya returned to the cassava fields at dawn, armed with makeshift tulsa, rusty hoe, and a tattered sack. The sun beat down on her as she worked tirelessly, her hands blistering as she unearthed the roots. Each cassava she pulled from the ground felt like a small victory, a step toward independence. Despite her hard work, doubts crept in. Her mother's disapproval echoed in her mind, and the whispers of the villagers, who viewed her with skepticism, stung her heart. Yet, every time she looked at Lila's innocent face, she felt renewed strength. After weeks of back-breaking labor, Maya's first harvest was ready. The roots were plump and heavy, and she felt a swell of pride as she gathered them into her sack. She washed them carefully, preparing to take them to the market the next day. As she set up her small stall, she felt a rush of anxiety. What if no one bought her cassava? But as villagers walked by, curiosity drew them to her. Tentatively, she began selling the roots, and to her surprise, they sold quickly. The small amount of money she earned was enough to buy food for the week, and even some essentials for Lila. With her newfound success, Maya connected with other women in the village who were also struggling to make ends meet. They formed a bond, sharing tips and resources. Together, they began to cultivate a sense of community, discussing not just cassava, but their dreams and aspirations. One of the women, Aisha, became a close friend and mentor. Aisha had been farming for years and shared her knowledge about cassava cultivation, processing, and even marketing. With her guidance, Maya learned how to turn the roots into various products: cassava flour, chips, and even a porridge mix. Just as Maya began to feel secure, a severe drought struck the region. The sun blazed relentlessly, and the soil cracked under the heat. The cassava plants struggled to survive, and Maya's heart sank as she watched the leaves wilt. Despair threatened to overcome her, but she knew she had to fight for Lila's future. She sought advice from an elder in the village, Mama Kiki, who had spent her life working the land. Mama Kiki shared valuable insights about drought-resistant farming techniques and encouraged Maya to adapt her approach. Armed with new knowledge, Maya began implementing changes in her farming practices. She learned to create small trenches to help catch rainwater and used mulch to retain moisture in the soil. With her friend Aisha by her side, they worked tirelessly to save their crops. Despite the challenges, Maya's determination shone through. She found herself becoming a leader among the women in her community, inspiring them to adopt new techniques and work together to support one another. As the seasons changed, Maya's perseverance paid off. The rains returned, and her cassava plants flourished. With her increased yield, she expanded her small business. Word of her cassava products spread throughout the village, and soon she had a steady stream of customers. The villagers, who once doubted her, began to respect her hard work and vision. Maya became a symbol of resilience, and her small stall turned into a thriving business. She even started employing other women, creating a ripple effect of empowerment in the community. Just when things seemed to be going well, a fierce storm hit the village one night. The winds howled, and rain poured down in torrents. When Maya woke up, she rushed to the fields, only to find her hard work destroyed. The storm had uprooted many of her cassava plants and flooded her small stall. Heartbroken, Maya felt a wave of defeat wash over her. But as she looked at Lila, who was blissfully playing in the mud, she realized that giving up was not an option. With the support of the women in her community, they banded together to replant and recover. With determination and teamwork, Maya and her friends worked day and night to restore the fields. They shared resources, knowledge, and labor, fostering a spirit of unity. Slowly but surely, the crops began to recover, and Maya felt a renewed sense of hope. As her business continued to grow, Maya started exploring new markets beyond her village. She learned about local fairs and festivals where she could showcase her products. With the support of her community, she not only sold cassava products, but also shared stories of resilience and empowerment. Maya's journey was not just about survival. It was about building a future. She began saving money for Lila's education, dreaming of a day when her daughter could pursue her passions without the limitations Maya had experienced. The thought of Lila thriving filled her with joy and determination. One evening, as Maya sat with Lila in her lap, she reflected on how far she had come. The abandoned cassava fields that once represented despair had transformed into a source of hope and opportunity. She had not only nurtured the land, but had also cultivated her own strength and resilience. Maya stood in her flourishing fields, surrounded by the laughter of her community and the promise of a brighter future. She realized that her journey was just beginning. With every harvest, she was not only providing for Lila, but also sowing the seeds of change in her community. The roots she had nurtured represented more than just cassava. They symbolized her growth as a mother, a businesswoman, and a leader. Maya had discovered her own strength, and as she looked toward the horizon, she felt ready to face any challenges that lay ahead, knowing that she was not alone. If you enjoyed the video, kindly like, share, and subscribe. Your feedback helps a lot in making create more valuable content for you.